I really didn't mean to do this. Hold on, everybody. Just want to see something. Hmm. 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 Well, all right. So tonight, earlier, if y'all wonder why am I talking so low, that's because my family sleep, and I'm not trying to wake nobody up. Not at all. So just give me a minute. See what I could do here. It's a Friday night. I'm sure there's a song somewhere. Friday night. Somewhere. Facebook is not being nice to me tonight. Not. Not at all. Let me try this. Hold on, y'all. Hmm. I don't know about that one. It's tough keeping up with Facebook algorithms. It's tough. Give me one minute. I'm gonna leave it right there because it's late. So this is what I wanted to share with everybody. Tonight's broadcast is on dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So earlier I went live and I talked about one of my classes. And at the end of that class, I said that I was going to give you some information on how you can help someone holistically with essential oils who has dementia or Alzheimer's. Now, before I go into this, I must state several things. And the things I'm going to state is this. One, I am a licensed healthcare provider. Two, I am a national educator, and the information that I give is for educational and informational purposes strictly. Third is always consult with your primary care physician or your healthcare provider before making any decisions on anything that I give. If you would like, you can share this broadcast, or you can talk about what you heard to your primary care physician or your healthcare provider. Let them know what you heard and share with them and get their feedback, meaning your primary care physician or your other healthcare provider. So let's get into this because it's late. And I want to share my screen so y'all know what I'm talking about. Is it going to let me share? Yes. Yes, it is going to let me share. So I'm going to take away my little happy face because you don't need to see me. And we're going to start here. So Facebook, you caught up. So tonight it's going to be on neurodegenerative disease. And primarily we're talking about dementia and Alzheimer's disease. And I want to start off with this. Dementia is a group of illnesses that involve progressive brain deterioration characterized by a decline of mental facilities, which include thinking, remembering, communicating. It also shows a decline in working and abilities to function in everyday daily activities. So this picture that you see right here is a picture of your nerve endings and what happens in the brain. Next, I want to go into what causes dementia. And here's a picture of the brain right here. You want to see some beautiful pictures. Causes of dementia are advancing age. As we age, doesn't mean that everybody who ages gets dementia or Alzheimer's disease. It doesn't mean that. There's other factors. Cerebral vascular disease, central nervous system infections, brain trauma and tumors, vitamin deficiencies, metabolic and endocrine conditions, chronic alcoholism. I want to talk about that. Long-term exposure to aluminum metals. I'm going to talk about that. Sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, syphilis, Huntington and Parkinson's disease, and immune disorders. So let's go back to alcoholism. Set aside from all of the other pathologies, all of the other conditions, alcoholism is horrible when it comes to dementia. Keep this in mind. Dementia is a precursor to Alzheimer's disease. You're going to see in this presentation the difference between the two. A person who is an alcoholic, they're constantly drinking. They wake up to a drink, they go to bed to a drink. They drinking during the course of a 24-hour day. This right here can cause the plaques and the knots that causes confusion on the brain. So if you know anybody who's in this category and you start seeing signs and symptoms, which I think we have time to go over, you might want to have a conversation with them. Next is long-term exposure to aluminum and metals. This could be where somebody work at. What is their occupation? Are they around aluminums or aluminum? Are they around a lot of metals? So that's what I wanted to highlight there. Next is, this is very short presentation. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive degenerative, degenerative disease of the brain that produces a typical profile of mental deterioration with the same description as dementia. AD is characterized by the presence of abnormal clumps, which is the plaques, and irregular knots on nerve cells in the brain. The plaques and the knots causes a disruption in nerve impulse transmission. Next is, like I said, dementia is a precursor to Alzheimer's. So here are the signs and symptoms for dementia: forgetfulness, loss of memory, disorientation, personality disintegration, loss of cognitive abilities, thinking. Alzheimer's disease signs and symptoms. Like I just did this slide, y'all, right before I went live with y'all. Alzheimer's disease signs and symptoms: loss of memory, inability to concentrate, impairment of reasoning, apathy, changes in personality. Let's go with loss of memory. Let's go with loss of memory and disorientation. All dementia, people who suffer from dementia, sometimes early on, if they are aware and they know about dementia, they will start to write sticky notes everywhere. Sticky notes on the refrigerator, sticky notes in the bedroom, sticky notes on the kitchen refrigerator, anywhere. They will write and post those sticky notes because they notice that they are not remembering things that they want to remember. That is one of the physical signs that this person is aware that something is not right, because they cannot remember. So they start with these sticky notes. And they put the sticky notes up there to help them remember so that they don't forget. Another thing that happens, excuse me, another thing that happens with people who suffer from dementia, when, I'm gonna say this, they get upset when they cannot remember something. They get very, very upset. They know what they want to say, but they can't remember what they want to say. And they get upset because they can't remember. Have patience with them. Another thing that happens when it comes to forgetfulness, loss of memory, disorientation, and they don't know where they are. They don't know where they are. And another thing is they can remember way back when, but they might not remember a conversation or something that they said in the present, but they can remember way, 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 way back when, 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And they will have a conversation with you like it was the present. But they can have a conversation with you in the present and not remember nothing they said to you in the present. And you'll realize they just had that conversation with you. Do not get irritated with them. Do not get upset with them. Do not yell at them. Do not say, "Didn't you just tell me that?" Because they honestly don't remember that they did just tell you that they did just have a conversation with you. If you don't take the time out to understand this disease, this pathology, I'm asking you, take the time out to learn about it. If you are a caregiver or you know someone who has dementia or you know someone who has Alzheimer's disease, take the time out of your busy schedule and learn about this disease. Learn about dementia, learn about Alzheimer's, because that loved one who is suffering with this, how do you think they feel when they can't remember something? And the thing about it is they want to remember it really, really bad, but they can't because of what has happened. Let me stop this share for a minute. They can't remember because of what is going on up here. Depending on the stage of the dementia, depending on the stage of the Alzheimer's disease, they can't remember. They cannot. I just went over what dementia is and what Alzheimer's disease is. Clumps, plaque, knots, neurofibrillatory, okay? amyloid plaque buildup on the brain. Once that buildup is on the brain, it causes confusion, which means there is no nerve transmissions being conducted because the nerves are damaged. Brain nerves is damaged. This is why they cannot remember. This is why it's a loss of memory. This is why they have disorientation. Have patients with these loved ones that is suffering with dementia, okay? So I want to share my screen again. Here we go. All righty, I'm gonna black out my little happy face. So we just went over loss of memory for AD, inability to concentrate, impairment of reasoning. And see, when you see all this is the nerves and neurons in the brain. All of this that you see that is black, that is all damaged nerves. All this black area, all damaged nerves. And because all this is damaged, it's causing all of this. All of this. Forgetfulness, loss of memory, disorientation, personality, disintegration, loss of cognitive abilities, the ability to think, the ability to communicate, loss of memory and ability to concentrate, impairment of reasoning, they have no comprehension, apathy, changes in personality that can make them be agitated or aggressive. Let me show you the next slide. Like I just did this slide 10 minutes before I went live, y'all. So here is some holistic remedies that can help with dementia, help with Alzheimer's disease. Here it says diet, but this should be nutritional regimen. Shouldn't be diet, it should be nutritional regimen. Exercise, depending on age, can be light to moderate. And it doesn't have to be physical exercise. It could be mental exercise, such as with puzzles. Lowering stress. Stress can be massage, reduced through massage. Healthy sleep, vitamin and nutrients, nutrient supplements, acupuncture, improving heart health, social interaction, and an active mind. This is where active mind, that would be mental capabilities. I don't know if I'm sure these still exist. Cryptograms, puzzles. Cryptograms, puzzles. Remember Sudoku, y'all? That helps stimulate the mind. Proper oral hygiene, removal of environmental risk factors. Remember, I talked about long-term exposure to aluminum and metals, removal of environmental risk factors. Last slide. I talked about the blood-brain barrier earlier today when I did the first video, and I said that the blood-brain, there's certain essential oils that has the ability and scientifically proven to cross the blood-brain barrier. So this is a video that explains what the blood-brain barrier is. Okay, so I'm going to play this video for you so you have an understanding of what the blood-brain barrier is. See if this video plays, y'all. I hope so.
The blood-brain barrier refers to the highly selective permeability of blood vessels within the central nervous system. The barrier.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to widen it. Here we go.
The blood-brain barrier refers to the highly selective permeability of blood vessels within the central nervous system. The barrier controls, in a precise manner, substances that can enter or leave the nervous tissue. It helps maintain the stable state, or homeostasis, of brain tissue amid the fluctuations of circulating substances in the blood, many of which can act as neurotransmitters and could create chaos in neuronal activities if allowed to diffuse freely into the brain. The barrier also protects the brain from blood-borne pathogens and toxins. The blood-brain barrier is composed of several cell types, including endothelial cells that form the wall of blood vessels, mural cells, namely pericytes, partially covering the outside of endothelial cells, and glial cells, astrocytes, whose extended processes, called end feet, wrap around the vessels. The endothelial cells alone can fulfill the functions of the blood-brain barrier, but their interactions with the adjacent cells seem to be required for its formation, maintenance, and regulation. The brain endothelial cells, unlike their counterparts in other tissues, possess unique properties that allow them to tightly control the passage of substances between the blood and brain. These properties can be classified into physical, transport, and metabolic categories. The brain endothelial cells are held together by tight junctions, which serve as physical barriers, preventing movements of substances through the space between cells. They have very low rates of vesicle-mediated transcellular transport. They control the movement of ions and substances with specific transporters, of which there are two major types: efflux transporters and nutrient transporters. Efflux transporters use cellular energy to move substances against their concentration gradient. These transporters are usually located on the blood side of endothelial cells. They transport lipophilic molecules, which have passively diffused through the cell membrane, back to the blood. Nutrient transporters, on the other hand, facilitate the movement of nutrients, such as glucose and essential amino acids, into the brain, down their concentration gradient. The brain endothelial cells also contain a number of enzymes that metabolize and thus inactivate certain neurotransmitters, drugs, and toxins, preventing them from entering the brain. An intact blood-brain barrier is critical for normal brain functions. Neurological diseases such as encephalitis, multiple sclerosis, brain traumas, Alzheimer's disease, epilepsy, strokes, and tumors can breach the barrier, and this in turn contributes to disease pathology and further progression. To note, however, that not all areas of the brain have the blood-brain barrier. For example, some brain structures are involved in hormonal control and require better access to systemic blood, so they can detect changes in circulating signals and respond accordingly. These non-barrier areas are located around the midline of the ventricular system and are known as circumventricular organs. Some of their bordering regions have a leaky barrier. The blood-brain barrier also has its downside. While it protects the brain from unwanted drugs and toxins, it also prevents therapeutic drugs from entering the central nervous system to treat diseases. Several strategies are developed to overcome this obstacle, including delivering the drug directly into the cerebrospinal fluid, use of vasoactive compounds, designing drugs with higher lipid solubility, hacking the endogenous transport system to carry the drug, and blocking the efflux transporter that pumps the drug back to the bloodstream.
Okay, now I'm going to stop my share. So I wanted to explain what the blood-brain barrier is, so y'all have an understanding of, well, Carol, you keep saying BBB. We don't know what it is. And I mentioned it earlier. So now you have an understanding of what dementia is, what causes dementia, the factors of it, as well as Alzheimer's disease, what it is, the factors of it, the signs and the symptoms of both, and also benefits, other options of holistic benefits that can help people that have dementia as well as Alzheimer's disease. So now I want to talk about essential oils. As promised earlier, which essential oils is going to help a person who has dementia or who has Alzheimer's disease. So I'm going to give you the essential oils, but I'm also tell you where it helps them at. So for instance, for agitation and aggression, because remember, I did say that dementia patients, dementia clients, dementia people can become agitated. Why do they become agitated? Because one, they have disorientation, they have loss of memory, and they get very upset when they're trying to remember something and they can't. That's when I asked y'all to have patience with them. I explained about the amyloid plaques that causes the confusion. I showed you a brain nerve transmission and showed you where it was all like those neurons, those nerve cells, is all dead. And if they're all dead, that means no transmission is happening. There's no synapse, no presynaptic, no postsynaptic, no nothing, because of the plaques and the knots that are up here that's causing it. So, hey Mayo, hey Catherine, and I think Camilla's here too. Thank you for tuning in. So that would be lavender, bergamot, and lemon balm. Now, let me go through these essential oils and then I'm going to tell you something else. So for agitation and aggression, it's going to be lavender essential oil, bergamot essential oil, and lemon balm essential oil. To suppress the inflammatory process of COX2, that's the best way I can say it, of the COX2 enzyme, inflammatory process, it's going to be thyme essential oil, rose essential oil, clove essential oil, eucalyptus essential oil, bergamot essential oil, and fennel. That is going to help with the inflammatory. To improve, remember I said that they have loss of memory and they have loss of cognitive abilities. Essential oils that help with that is rosemary. Now, in a normal person, a person who doesn't have dementia or a person who doesn't have Alzheimer's disease, rosemary is going to help boost brain performance. Rosemary is going to help boost brain performance. Okay. Then we have, I can never say this essential oil. It's a complicated name. Copaiba. I hope I'm saying it right. Copaiba essential oil. The Copaiba essential oil helps with the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, the digestive system, the immune system, and the respiratory system. It helps with all 5 of those. But the one that is biblical as well as evidence-based, like all the oils I'm giving you is evidence-based, which means research has been done to show that these oils are effective for this particular symptom, sign, pathology, disease. Hope y'all getting what I'm putting up. So the oil that I want to talk about is frankincense. Frankincense has been proven over decades as an oil that can cross the blood-brain barrier, cross the blood-brain barrier to slow down, not stop it, but to slow down the progression of dementia, slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Something else I wanted to share with you. Oh, I wanted to share this with you. The Copaiba Essential Oil also has that ability of crossing the blood-brain barrier. But it is, I'm gonna tell you how it is extracted, the country where it comes from, and what else it does. So one, it is distilled from the resin of a tree. Keep this in mind. Pure, certified, how can I say this? You have essential oil bottles that will say 100% pure, or it will say therapeutic grade 100% pure. Then you have essential oils that are OTC, like you can purchase them over the counter. But there is other essential oils that has went through research, that has went through several qualities of control, that have went through the science and the scientifics of that plant, which means the different types of extraction, the harvest, the extraction, the quality control, the quality control and the packaging all happens in that plant country of origin before it is shipped anywhere in the world. Those essential oils, where they are originated from the country of origin, extracted from the tree or whatever part of the tree is extracted from, because it can be the leaf, the tree, the resin, the leaf, different parts of that tree will yield a different type of essential oil. I hope y'all get that. Different parts of a tree yields different types of an essential oil. So this one is steam distilled from the resin of a tree, and the country of origin for this one is northern Brazil. It is also an antioxidant, which means that it boosts the immune system for good health, as well as frankincense. So, I'm just giving you some information that can benefit you, that can help you. So I know some people that are analytical, some people that are very technical. You must say, okay, how does that happen? Frankincense essential oil has a chemical and element in it called, and I can never say this word. Let me write it down just so I can pronounce it, because I be messing this word up. I'm gonna try this, but I know I'm gonna screw this word up really, really bad. Okay, I think I got it. No, I don't. I'm gonna give it the best shot. It's the element, the chemicals. I'm talking about the molecular level. It's called serpentines. And what that does is that it stimulates the limbic system of the brain. And because it stimulates the limbic system of the brain, remember the limbic system is the seat of emotions. Keep that in mind. The limbic system is the seat of emotions. In this particular case, It's going to stimulate the limbic system of the brain, promote memory, and release emotions. Talking about frankincense essential oil, everybody. Frankincense essential oil slows down. Remember I said earlier that it doesn't stop it, but it slows down the progression of dementia. And it helps bring oxygen to damaged brain cells. Remember the picture? Let me see if I could show you the picture that I'm talking about here. I just have to share my screen again and bring that picture up. If it let me. I think it's this one. Okay, right here. Let me take away my little happy face. So right here, this is a picture of brain cells, neurons in the brain, and see how it's all well lit, how bright that is. That means that there's activity going on. But right in here, where you see all these other neurons and this nerves, the cell body, all of this is black. That means it is dead. There's no transmission, nerve transmission going to this area at all, because of this. So frankincense essential oil helps bring oxygen to these damaged cells. If a person, the caregiver is going to be helping this person with frankincense essential oil. This is all dead, all this black area. This is what causes the confusion, the disorientation, the loss of memory, the forgetfulness. This is the problem right here, the culprit right here, because it's all dead. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody. Hopefully you have learned something from this broadcast on dementia and on Alzheimer's. And I say to you, share this broadcast with someone that you know who is a caregiver of a person who has dementia or who has Alzheimer's disease. So I've done this before, but it was like, I don't know, it was maybe 3 years ago when I did this before. But I just wanted to do it again because of the earlier broadcast that I did, and I had promised that I would come back and do a broadcast, a presentation on dementia and Alzheimer's, and also talk about frankincense essential oil and how that helps with people who have dementia or people who have, mainly people who have dementia, because Alzheimer's disease is a progressive stage, very, very, very aggressive. But dementia is like the early stages of Alzheimer's. That's where frankincense essential oil can come in and like just slow it down. Won't stop it, but it will definitely slow it down. So that's what I wanted to share tonight with y'all, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. It is time for me to go. It is late. I will see everybody in the morning. So let me do what I do best. Let me thank Mayo for tuning in, and thank Sister Catherine Muhammad for tuning in, and thank Camille for tuning in. So thank you, everybody that came in live with me and shared some time with me. I appreciate that. And if you catch this on a replay, share the broadcast so that you can help somebody else. All right. So I will see y'all on my next live stream, or I will see you in class. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the morning after my class, because I got class again tomorrow morning. I will be a student. I like being a student. Good night, everybody. I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.